The storm that changed everything. The rain came down in sheets that Thursday evening, hammering against the windows of Marcus Chun's modest two-story home. He stood in the kitchen, stirring a pot of chicken soup, while his 15-year-old son Tyler sat at the dining table, headphones on, lost in his homework. Marcus had been a single father for 3 years now, ever since his wife passed away from cancer. The days had been hard, filled with moments of overwhelming responsibility and quiet grief. But he and Tyler had found their rhythm. They had learned to navigate the world together, just the two of them. The doorbell rang. Marcus glanced at the clock. 7:30. He wasn't expecting anyone. Through the frosted glass of the front door, he could see a figure huddled under the small overhang of his porch. When he opened the door, he found a woman in her mid-30s, soaked to the bone, shivering in what had once been an elegant red dress. Her blonde hair hung in wet strands around her face, and her mascara had run in dark trails down her cheeks. "I'm so sorry," she said, her voice trembling. "My car broke down about a mile back. My phone is dead. I saw your lights and thought time. Sorry, I know this is strange." Marcus didn't hesitate. "Come in, please. You're freezing." The woman stepped inside, leaving small puddles on the hardwood floor. She wrapped her arms around herself, trying to stop shaking. "Tyler," Marcus called out, "can you grab some towels from the bathroom?" His son appeared in the doorway, pulling off his headphones. His eyes widened slightly at the sight of their unexpected guest, but he nodded and disappeared upstairs. "I'm Marcus," he said, offering a gentle smile. "Let me get you something warm to drink. Tea, coffee." "Tea would be wonderful," she said. "I'm Victoria Sterling, and I cannot thank you enough for this." Tyler returned with an armful of towels, and Victoria accepted them gratefully. She dried her face and hair as best she could, though her dress remained damp and clingy. "I have some of my late wife's clothes upstairs," Marcus offered quietly. "They might fit you. You should get out of those wet things." Victoria's eyes softened. "That's very kind of you." 20 minutes later, she emerged wearing a simple grey sweater and jeans, her hair pulled back in a loose ponytail. She looked different now, less polished, more human. Marcus had set out tea and bowls of soup at the dining table. "Please, sit," he said. "You must be hungry." Victoria sat down carefully, wrapping her hands around the warm mug of tea. "I feel like I've stepped into some kind of alternate reality," she admitted. 2 hours ago, I was at a board meeting. Now I'm here, wearing a stranger's clothes, eating homemade soup." Tyler looked up from his homework. "Board meeting?" Victoria hesitated. "I run a company. Sterling Technologies. We develop software for healthcare systems." "Wait," Tyler said, his eyes widening. "Sterling Technologies. You're that Victoria Sterling, the CEO?" She nodded, looking almost embarrassed. "Guilty as charged." Marcus had heard of Sterling Technologies. It was one of the biggest tech companies in the state, valued at billions. And here was its CEO, sitting at his kitchen table in his wife's old clothes. "What were you doing out here?" Marcus asked gently. "This neighborhood is pretty far from the business district." Victoria's expression shifted, becoming distant. "I was driving. Just driving. I needed to think, to get away from everything. The meetings, the decisions, the constant pressure. I wasn't paying attention to where I was going or how much gas I had left." She laughed bitterly. The CEO who can't even remember to fill her tank. There was a long silence. Tyler went back to his homework, sensing this was a conversation between adults. I know what it's like, Marcus said quietly, to feel like you're drowning in responsibility. To feel like everyone depends on you, and you can't show weakness because, if you do, everything will fall apart. Victoria looked at him, really looked at him for the first time. You do understand. When my wife died, Marcus continued, I had to be everything for Tyler. Father, mother, provider, emotional support. I had to keep working, keep the house running, keep him in school and activities. Some days, I wanted to just drive away, too, to escape all of it, even for an hour. But you didn't, Victoria said softly. No, because I realized something. The weight I was carrying, I didn't have to carry it alone. Tyler and I, we learned to share it. We learned to talk about the hard things, to admit when we were struggling. Victoria set down her mug. I don't have anyone to share it with. My marriage ended 2 years ago. My parents are gone. I have colleagues, but no real friends. The higher I climbed, the more alone I became. Tyler looked up again. That sounds lonely. It is, Victoria admitted, her voice cracking slightly. It's incredibly lonely. Marcus reached across the table and placed his hand gently over hers. You don't have to be alone. Not tonight, at least. They talked for hours. Victoria told them about the pressure of running a company, of making decisions that affected thousands of employees, of always having to be perfect and strong. Marcus shared stories about the challenges of single parenthood, about learning to cook and braid hair and help with algebra homework. Tyler even opened up about missing his mother, about the hole in his life that never quite filled. The storm outside raged on, but inside the small house, something warm and genuine was taking root. You know what's strange? Victoria said as midnight approached. I have a penthouse apartment with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. I have every luxury you can imagine, but I haven't felt this comfortable, this at peace, in years. Marcus smiled. Maybe that's because you're not the CEO right now. You're just Victoria, just a person. She nodded slowly. I think I'd forgotten how to be just a person. The next morning, the storm had passed. The sky was clear and bright. Marcus called a tow truck for Victoria's car and drove her to meet it. Before she got out of his truck, she turned to him. Thank you, she said. For everything. For the shelter, yes, but more than that. For reminding me what matters. Stay in touch, Marcus said. If you ever need to just be Victoria again, you know where to find us. She smiled, a genuine smile that reached her eyes. I will, I promise. 3 weeks later, Marcus received an unexpected package. Inside was a note in elegant handwriting, for the man who reminded me that true wealth isn't measured in dollars. Thank you for showing me kindness when I needed it most. The fifth beneath the note was a framed photograph. It showed Victoria, Marcus, and Tyler sitting around the dining table that stormy night, laughing at something Tyler had said. Marcus didn't remember anyone taking the photo, but there it was, a moment of genuine connection captured forever. He hung it in the living room, right next to a photo of his late wife. Sometimes, he thought, the best things in life come from the most unexpected places. Sometimes, a storm brings exactly what you need, not just shelter from the rain, but shelter from loneliness itself. And sometimes, the person who needs saving isn't the one standing on your doorstep in the rain. Sometimes, it's you.